Welcome, everybody, to another segment of the Gambling Lab brought to you by Bogey Proof. It is Open Championship week. We got the full crew here, TJ, Brian, Paul, and myself.
Yeah.
We're ready to talk DFS and some picks this week for the Open Championship over at Royal St. George's. I'm excited, boys. I love an
Fucking
Open
fired
Championship.
up.
I love coffee golf, we'll call it, right? You're up nice and early watching some golf, and this course, they've been kind of bitching and moaning about it all week, and I kind of love that. Like, bring it on. It reminds me of Shinnecock. They all were pissed about that, and that was one of the most fun things I've ever watched is them making Phil chasing down a putt and hitting it while still moving. Like give me that shit. Like, let's go. You know,
that was awesome.
I'm excited for some carnage this week and just some quirkiness and make these guys a little uncomfortable and, get them out of their element of the PGA Tour fucking bomb and gouge every week and see some different shit, whether it's weird shit around the greens, weird shit off the tees, the fescue, all that shit. I'm here for it. I love links golf. I love the Open Championship. I'm excited to, talk some picks with you guys and, let's get right into it. What are we thinking initial thoughts this week?
Yeah, let's we talked weather last episode, right? Weather's blowing out towards the east, so it's going to be blowing towards the water. This is going to be you have to hit the fairway. You will be rewarded by hitting the fairway. So I want guys who drive it far, strokes gained off the tee, and guys that can putt. I don't think anybody can come on this course and be a shitty putter and expect to putt well, because this is not going to be easy. So guys who can bomb it, hit the fairway, and putt well. I'll save my picks for a little bit later, but those are the type of guys I'm thinking for. Prev, what are you looking at this week?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's pretty much a theme, right? And first of all, I love coffee golf as long as it's got some Baileys in it, right, Murph?
Facts.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, as long as these majors, I mean, it kind of just fits the mold, right? I forgot who said it, Fontaine. You probably remember this quote, but maybe it was Adam Scott. He was like, "They can't make these courses long enough," right? So I think it's just becoming a theme, like, okay, like, let's see how far these guys can hit it. Let's see, how much balls they really got, and let's see what they're going to do with this course. So, yeah, I'm looking for length. I'm looking for guys who can keep the ball in the fairway, because we know it can get, I don't have a ton of info on Royal St. George, but I know it can get bad out there. So you're looking for guys who can keep the ball on the planet, and then obviously, your short game whizzes. So, your Patrick Reeds and whatever will always succeed here, I'm sure.
Yeah. Need the creativity around the greens too. I mean, obviously fairways are important, especially in this type of golf course with the elevation and the wind and everything. Like, you don't want to make it harder than it has to be. And the fairway is always kind of step one for that. But the creativity around the greens, I love a guy that, he's not just he hits a lot of different shots, right? He shapes the ball, hits flops around the green, bumps it around the green, has kind of all those in his bag. That way he's never, looking at something like, man, it looks like I need this shot, but I don't hit that a lot, so I got to try and fit mine into it. That guy's in trouble this week because the shit that goes on around link screens, you have to just you can't force your shot into the shot. You have to do what the shot asks for, and it's going to ask for a lot of different things this week, more than the PGA Tour, where you grab your 60-degree, you open it up, and you plop it on the green and let it roll out 4 feet. You're going to have to hit an 8-iron. You're going to have to hit a pitching wedge. You're going to have to hit the 60. You're going to have to hit all that different shit around the green. So it's outside of the fairways thing. Like, that's the thing I look for this week of, like, who's got a good short game that isn't going to freak out if they have to hit a pitching wedge from 20 yards, right? Like, a shot that you don't hit all the time on the PGA Tour, but, like, somebody's got the good hands and the creativity to kind of visualize and be comfortable with that shot. It just makes them I think it gives them a little bit of an edge this week, makes them a little bit more comfortable. One less thing to kind of stress out about out there, which at the end of the day, these guys, they're all so good. The more comfortable swings they make, the more likely they're going to play well, right? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So that's kind of what I'm looking for outside of just the fairways. But Paul, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't know if length is necessarily big here, but just accuracy off the tee. I feel like that's the biggest thing. And I don't know. There's just some weird names that like stick out to me with accuracy off the tee and how they've been hitting drivers this year. But like I don't know. I feel like every Open that comes up, it's just like Jordan Spieth just pops into my head. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
He loves it.
he embodies that creativity, right? Like that guy's all over the place sometimes, but it's always he never shies away from a shot. He does weird shit around the greens that like he's a magician, right? Like Phil, obviously too. You know, like Patrick Reed, like you mentioned, like guys like that around the greens. It's it's just so crucial in a week like this to just be versatile. Like you just got to be able to do different shit around the greens and be comfortable in doing so, effective in doing so, and just like make pars when you shouldn't make pars. Like that's what it comes down to in major championships, as always. And you know, Jordan's certainly one of those guys for sure. But let's go through some of kind of the top dogs this week of, you know, whether it's salary or, you know, betting odds, whatever it may be, and let's weed out the ones we like and the ones that are, you know, possible fades this week, given, you know, being at the top of the odds or top of the salary in DFS.
I don't know, guys. I really like DJ this week. I think there's guys that have stories. We talk about this time and time again. DJ came in second. The last time they played in 2011 here, it was 2 strokes back. Darren Clark ended up winning, but I think it was the par 5, 14 or 15. I forgot which one it was. He flailed it off, second shot, flailed off to the right. Double bogeyed, ended up being 4 or 5 strokes back at that point. Basically, that was a wrap. I think DJ is going to come out and play well. I think he knows his course enough. He kind of sticks out to me if I want a top dog. But I think there's a lot of good plays. I'm not necessarily looking at a lot of the Americans, though. There are a couple guys that stick out, but I'm actually going to live, especially in DFS, I'm going to live down in the $7,000 range. The guys that play this course are familiar with the area, with these types of golf courses. Instead of keyword Fontaine, comfortable. I want guys that are comfortable with playing this course. I don't need guys that are all over the place. One guy who I think is all over the place and I'm staying away for this week, Bryson DeChambeau. He's got a new caddy. Caddy's got to figure it out. How are you going to pick out your points of where to hit it? Like, this is a huge test. I don't think that meshes here. Plus, he's Bryson. He hits it a mile. I mean, he has to hit it perfectly here to do really well, and hit it out of the heather or the hay, whatever we call it. I mean, those are some guys that stick out to me. But, yeah, there's a lot of guys I'm looking down in the $7,000 range for sure. That'll stick out.
I'm all in on fading Bryson this week. Like all the things we talked about, especially in our course preview episode, caddies are working double time this week. It's so hard to find lines for your guys off the tee. There's no trees to aim at. There's all these blind shots. Like he has no I mean, I know his new caddy has been in camp as like a coach or some shit, but there's just no. You need that relationship with your caddy and like that trust in your caddy of stuff. And I feel like Bryson is basically gonna just use this caddy to carry the bag kind of thing, and that's just so much extra work for him that. Among the other things of driving actually, whatever, the biggest thing for me that stands out this week is caddies. And he's got a new one essentially, right? So it's just, I don't think it just makes it that much harder for him. It's, you know, it's a thing that the whole field has an advantage on over him. So whenever you have that kind of theme going into a major, that's a big thing for me. So I'm all about that Bryson fade this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big deal too. I think, you know, Fontaine, I just started taking a pretty deep dive into the lineups and the salaries, and I think it's time. I think Justin's coming. I think Justin's too cheap. And, you know, listen, if I think it's one of those things where for me, how I'm going to approach him is if I make 5 lineups, he'll be in 2 of them. And I think where, you know, he's at a point where, you know, we did this already. We've been down this road already. He's such a buy low guy. It's not even funny because, you know, Fontaine, at least you could correct me if I'm wrong, but if you've seen him work in the past, when he starts to suck like a couple weeks in a row, like he has over the last 3-4 weeks, like, you know, he's been grinding. Like, you know, he has. And I think he doesn't, I feel like he kind of really loves his name in the news a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I also think he's got this weird obsession. This is all just
allegedly.
Yeah. I think he's got this weird like motivation to be better than Jordan. I really do. Yeah. And like, I think it's kind of been a little while since his name's been in the spotlight. And I think I have PGA Championship vibes right now.
It's interesting you say that. So he finished
8.
15 under at the Scottish. What would they play last week? Anyway, he
Scottish
finished in
Open.
the top 5. He shot well, and he was on Instagram saying, "Hey, he feels good." That's another guy I was looking at this week. Yeah, Justin Thomas. I think he's ready to go.
It's just too cheap, man. It's just too cheap. Like you're gonna see
9,600 is way too cheap.
You're going to see mispriced, and that's the thing with major championship DFS. That's why when you're actually playing DFS or majors, you actually need to put some more time into it, because as you look down this list, you see all these guys that are mispriced. Kevin Kisner's mispriced, Daniel Berger's mispriced, and we'll go through all those. But like you're going to see these all over the place. Patrick Reed is mispriced. Like these are elite golfers. Justin Thomas should be 10,000 every single week. If Rory has been $10,000 every single week he's played this whole year, right? He's had plenty of bad weeks this year, right? Definitely. And Justin Thomas should be in the same, like he is the same level golfer in my opinion. Maybe not quite as good, but right there.
Three, but if you look at the last 2 years, they're pretty similar. I mean, I love JT this week. I think, like you said, he's a buy low guy, and he played well enough last week to make me jump for it. Like his whole season, even like I know he won the Players, but it was down, down, down. Then the Players was a peak. Down, down.
Players is what I meant before, by the way. Sorry.
Like it could be. I can very well see JT, because again, he's another guy. He hits a ton of shots, right? He's a super creative guy. He always shapes it. Has that kind of creative, that he has that brain to be able to not like shy away from shots and hit them. And he's got all the talent in the world to pull them off. So
he's got a big set of cajones too, which I love.
I love JT.
Starting to play well now.
I love JT under 10 on DFS. It's crazy.
Yeah, love it.
I think he's definitely of the top dogs. He's definitely one I'm kind of circling this week as he seems to have found a little something. I mean, he shot 15 under last week at the Scottish Open after traveling over that week, all that stuff. So the golf swing's got to be in good shape to be doing that. So definitely, I think might be the right price to get him.
15 under, and he almost killed his dad, and he had a cold top too. Like
Yeah,
yeah. He could have been 18 under.
Cold top, literally.
Yeah.
And then another guy that you mentioned, Prev, there, Rory. I don't know, man. He's lightning in a bottle, because when he gets it, it's unbeatable, right? It's just you gotta try.
That's expensive, man.
But
he's expensive.
He is super expensive, but I found a weird little stat that's making me hang on, and I don't know if he's a DFS play just because of how expensive he is, but I'm probably gonna throw something on him as either like a top 10, top 20, something along those lines, if not to win, because he's missed the cut like 8 times in the last like 4 years, and like 3 of those he's come back and been top 10. 2 of them he's won right after missing a cut. So, and he did say in his presser day, I mean, pressers are kind of tough. You got to kind of take them with a grain of salt, because they're never going to come out there and say, yeah, I'm playing like shit. But he said he like found something. He's been swinging it really good since he came Sunday. He came early on Sunday afternoon because he missed the cut last week. So he did say he kind of found something Sunday afternoon out there. And he said, his practice round today, he was hitting the ball better than he has in a little while. So, granted, that's practice round. We got to see how it translates when the pressure's on. But, again, I don't know if I love him DFS just due to the dollar signs next to him or the price there. But I love him as this might – and, the U.S. Open was all around a pretty damn good performance for him based on what his year's been. Obviously, his caliber, he wants to win those when he has a chance like that. But I think that's a sign of, major championship. Yeah, I think he's – on the way back, and it just being an Open Championship, his Open Championship history is ridiculous. Like he won in 2014 at Royal Liverpool, then went like T2, T3, T5, T2. So, and I think he had one in there that was either a miscut or kind of shitty, but like
ridiculous.
4 of his last 5 starts in the Open, or 5 of his last 6 are like includes a win in all top 5s. So
then, do we piggyback that, and what do we think about Rahm then? Like right at the same level. I mean,
Rahm. He should have won the Scottish Open. He putted like shit. He missed 5 putts inside 10 feet and lost by.
Is he far and above the most talented player on the tour? Or like, is that just like
far and above playing the best in the world right now? He's far and above
playing great.
Anybody
because like talent wise, dude, he's right there. I mean, I don't know
for sure, and he's got the best form of anybody going into it. I think he kind of stealing this from No Laying Up, so I'll give them their credit here. But I was listening to their kind of preview pod for the Open, and or actually no, it was the recap of the Scottish Open. They were saying like John Rahm is like giving some vibes of like it's like when he tees it up, if he brings it, it's inevitable, right? Like it's of DJ's run last year or Rory.
Yeah, it's got that
Steve's
feeling.
run in 2015 where he's just hitting it above and beyond everybody right now. If he putts well, he's going to win. It seems like everything else in his game, it just seems easy for him right now. Even when he won at Torrey, like it's not like he went crazy, like it's not like he was like a game, I mean, he obviously played incredibly well and super solid, but it seemed like he had more to get, like he had another gear still, right? So when you're winning majors in like essentially your B game, we'll call it, like that's scary. And then when you followed it up and play super well again and come in, what was it, 5th last week at the Scottish? Like, I don't know, man. He seems to be on one of those, like, Tiger did it for 5 to 10 years, and it seems like a lot of all the other world number ones, they have like, their 1 year or their 6-month stretch where they're essentially just racking up top 10s and 5s and 3 or 4 wins along the way. This could be a back-to-back major for John Rahm here. I would not be surprised at all if he's in the mix come the weekend. And if he just it's really impressive the way he's playing right now. As even being probably the betting favorite and the highest price guy in DFS, like I'm not fading him at all this week. If anything, it's just I can't afford him based on the rest of my life or something like that. But John Rahm is like, there's no way he's a bad pick for them unless something crazy happens a Thursday and he makes some kind of stupid score out there on the one of those holes and makes a triple or something and kind of loses it. But like other than that, there's no way he's not in this golf tournament on the weekend.
John Rahm's a part of those. John Rahm's a part of those guys. He's in like the core, right? If you have 6, you're making 6 or 7 different lineups, right? John Rahm's in 2 or 3 of them. For me, I'm personally think Dustin's going to do well. I put 2 or 3. JT got in 2 or 3. Brooks got in 1. Xander I'm going to have in 1. But that's kind of like what my mindset is. Got to at least have some type of feel for him. You got to have him in some of it, some type of
got to for sure.
Exposure.
What do we think about doing a little core? Let's do a little core. Let's do a high tier, mid tier, low tier. Let's see what we like in terms of stars and scrubs kind of format. Because honestly, I think there is more than enough value to get John Rahm in a lot of lineups. I really do. I mean, Kevin Kisner's not a bad guy down there at 6,900, right? You're looking at a lot of talent in the low 7s. A guy I'm super high on this week as well. Fontaine, I think you'll like this one. 7,700, the big leash. I like the big leash this week. I don't know why, but I'm getting weird vibes from leash. And I like leash, and I think that he's done well in some majors in the past. Obviously knows this kind of golf and what have you. So I don't know. I got some good feelings about Big Mark this week as well.
He's had a super solid year, and came in like 4
quietly. I feel like too.
Yeah, and he's a guy. He's certainly comfortable over there. Played in Australia. It's not the UK, but it's very similar, firm, fast. Like the golf courses are usually set up in a similar fashion. I would not be surprised to see Leash kind of lingering around this week for sure. I think he's a super good value. What did you say was 70 what?
77.
Yeah, that's a really good value for him because, again, unless he has a bad day, like unless his putter goes to shit or something weird like that, he's going to be lingering in that top 20, top 15.
He's also one of the best, and we all know about the pot bunkers on this course, and he is a top 10 sand player on the tour. Just a small tidbit. It might not make a huge difference, but they're all going to find a bunker at some point, and we know that these bunkers can ruin rounds. So I think it's still something to look out for. These little tidbits, like just adding comfortability, right? Because I feel like, some of these guys are probably going to hit shots to shy away from these bunkers, and that could make it even worse for them. So, if Leach goes in with the confidence to, be able to get up and down from those bunkers, then I feel like that always helps, small tidbits.
Yeah.
Paulie, what are you thinking for the top dogs? Who's the guy that's up for you?
I mean, the X-Man always stands out.
Yeah.
I'm just going through it right now, and do we have time to talk about Sam Burns for a moment?
Yeah.
We always have time for Sammy Burns.
Here. Come on.
What's going on with his pricing here?
Talk about his pricing. 6,300.
See, gentlemen, week in and week out, this is why we do these things. Okay.
He just finished like top 20, I think, in the Scottish. Like he played it's okay. I know he missed the cut, I think, at the US Open, but
He was hurt
And
too.
Was he hurt? Or he got hurt at the PGA, right?
The PGA came back, missed the cut, so he's kind of been like getting better.
But I think he was kind of in the mix of the Memorial. Just had a bad weekend. I think he was around the lead after 36, then had a bad weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
After 36 there and had a bad weekend. And then like last weekend, top 20 went 72, 68, 67, 66 last weekend.
He's not a 6,300 golfer on DFS.
I don't know what his deal is. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Travelers was 66, 71, 67, 68. I mean, I don't know how many Open Championships he's played in and kind of how his game translates over there, like with the short game stuff we've kind of alluded to. But the guy can strike his golf ball, and that's always a good sign. You know, like that's
I mean,
the guy won this year. He's got 3 top 3 finishes this year for 6,300. Sign me up, including a win. Yes,
6,300,
and he's an above average putter, I'd say. And putting over there is so much of it is just like the mid range and like long range, just like lag putts. Like the greens typically aren't as fast as PGA Tour courses, if not significantly slower than PGA Tour courses.
right?
So a lot of it is just you just have massive greens and it's just lag putting. Like, can you just get the ball near the hole on these on like the long approaches when you have to hit the bump and runs and guys aren't able to like dial it in and land it close, so the ball's going to scoot around the green, get undulation going somewhere, and then it's just making like this long lag putt to be in and around the green or in and around the hole. So
it's actually insulting the people he's near in DFS.
Oh,
It is a little insulting.
People that have never played in the tournament this year. Jason Scrivener is the same price as him. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? You know, like that's
somebody forgot who this guy was. Like,
Jimmy Walker is more expensive and literally has barely made a cut in the last 4 years, and he's more expensive.
Well,
it's like
he's the same price as Ernie Els and Darren Clark. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I know Darren Clark won this last time this year, but it was literally years ago.
I was gonna ask about those two. I was like, do we grab a little of those two? Like, do we grab a little Big Easy? I mean,
there always is this weird vibe with the Open. That like
it's different, dude. It's always different.
An amateur always seems to make a run at some point, and then there's always one of like the older guys that's always just lingering around, like just some 40, 50-year-old guy.
I think that old guy is going to be Ian Poulter this week. I also thought that was
Ian Poulter is going to be a problem this week. I'm going to have to watch a lot of his golf. I think he's going to play super.
See how good he's been doing. Like,
he's 72 is pretty cheap for him too.
He's ready to pounce. He doesn't want to release the captain's pick on himself. He wants to qualify outright. He's going to be a problem this week. I think. I hate watching him do well, but I think he's going to do really well this week.
The field size is just so aggressively big, also. It's just like, Cam Smith and Mark Leishman, right? Bang, bang. And Neiman, all 3 of them, just go like this. Click all 3 of them. Bang, done. Put all 3 of them. There's a core right there. Like, I like all 3 of those guys too. Like, you can go so many different directions with these major championships, which is why you got to make like 6+ lineups. Like, if you want to have success, you just got to like change your strategy. I'm doing stars and scrubs. I'm doing I'm doing only people from 8,000 to 9,500, nobody higher. Like, I don't know. And also, Fontaine, my guy this week, one of my core plays of the week, who hopefully doesn't fuck with me again. But I love Terrell Hatton so much that I just want him to do well. I love that guy, and I can't wait to watch him golf. And I think he can do well, and I think he's cheap, and I think he's pretty nasty. I mean, he's pretty nasty, right?
He had a real year last year. He kind of came back to earth this year, but I mean, he's still a top 30 golfer in the world. I mean, he's not still got it in him. I mean, looking through some of these, another guy that stands out to me is Robbie McIntyre. Straight out of Scotland, 13 out of 14 cuts this year. Played well with the Scottish last week. Like, it's as much a home game as you're going to get for him. I mean, his Euro starts this year. He's got 16th, 3rd, 29th, 8th, 37th, 18th. That's all Euro stuff, over there. So I love that. And it's, he's got major experience this year. He came in 35th at the U.S. Open, 12th at the Masters. So he's not going to shy from the moment. I love him this week as he's from Scotland, right? He's used to this weather, this golf. It's as much.
I was reading a little bit about him. Yep. I love it.
Fontaine, I like our guy. Bezaden Hoot, 15 of 15 cuts made, 7,500 in DFS. He just
Love
does
that.
well in these tough tournaments, the big ones. So I think he's just going to make the cut. He's just going to linger up there and give yourself a chance, right? At the end of the day, you can get 6 out of 6, sometimes 5 out of 6 does it, which doesn't always win the big ones, but it gets the money back.
Let's do a core though, because I feel like if you got to have 3 guys, right? I mean, you have to have 3 guys who you're relying on, and that that 85 to 9,000 range is a big range for me too that I keep looking at. I mean, Patty Reed at 8,800 I think it's a steal. So let's do 3 guys. Let's do a high price, a mid price, and a low price. And let's hear some cores. Fontaine, you got a core for us?
Yep, I'm going a little above your price range here on the top, but I'm
Totally fine.
I'm throwing JT as my high guy. I want him everywhere.
I want him everywhere too.
7 range, that ballpark. It's I want to say Matty Fitzpatrick because he probably should have won last week at the Scottish and again home game, but he's 79, so I'll get a lower 7 here. We'll go with Robbie Mack, like I said before, he's 7,300, and my cheapie. We talk so much about Sam Burns, but let me see if I can find another one of the 6s.
I love Sam.
I might go Robbie Mack. What's his name at 79, and Matty Fitzpatrick and JT. I just think those aren't like the flashiest names ever, but like if I'm having a core that I'm incredibly confident all 3 will be making the cut, and I'm also super confident that 2 of those 3 are like top 20, like not just like 45th. One of them might have a bad weekend or something, but I love those guys as like I want almost all of them in a lot of my lineup just because they're cut-making machines, and I think they have really good potential this week to be in that like top, not just making a cut, but in that top 20, top 10, like contending, region. It might be a little expensive on my, high, low, mid there, but
no, a core is a core, right? Somebody above 85, somebody in 85 to 7, and somebody 7 and lower. That's it. That's what we're looking for. Paulie, what do you got for us, babe?
You'll go X-Man. Gotta go Xander.
Love him.
And then so he's sitting right there. What is he? 10. Go with Fleet God at 8.
Love Fleet God. I mean, how can you not?
His interview today got me a little fired up.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing. That was awesome.
And then
the Fleet God, what a beast.
I like Kisner down there. And honestly, he's 73. He's reaching up there, but Big Rick, Slick Rick, he might have a weekend. Okay, like
he might do it. He might.
I'm monitoring the situation. I'm keeping an eye on him. I'm also a fan of Guido. Like he pissed me off at the U.S. Open, but I don't know, something about him. I think he's got the pizzazz for the weekend here.
I might be that asshole that makes a $7,000 lineup only because I'm in love with the $7,000. Like that's my high, medium, and lows. I wish I just make a lineup with that, honestly.
But yeah, I'm definitely sticking with. I even forgot who I said. Shoffley and Fleet God. Those are going to be my 2 guys that I'm definitely sticking with. But then there's so much depth here. Like, I know we mentioned Berger before, and even Patty Reed is like Matty Fitz is a good price. So just way out there. Cole Hammer, just
hammer it.
Keep an eye on it.
Hammer it.
That's the flyer. You can do
keep an eye.
High price, mid tier, low tier flyer.
He's my flyer.
There's nothing wrong with a flyer because I got a flyer. Okay, and let me tell you about my flyer. I'll start with my flyer. His name is Johannes Veerman. Go ahead and look him up. 6,100. Go ahead and look at his last 2 tournaments. TJ, go look. Go.
Top 10.
T3,
T8. Okay, 61 Scottish Open, Irish Open. Scottish Open, Irish Open. Look
right there, baby.
Look.
Okay.
See, this is what we're looking for. Johannes Veerman, no DK picture. Love it. Okay, that's flyer. We're starting with the flyer. Kisner was going to be my original low tier, but then you guys spotted Sam Burns, and I mean, that's just sometimes they just do it wrong, and that's an example. He should not be that price. So I guess it'll be Sam Burns and Kisner will be my low. Mid tier. Love Fleet God. Big Leash is probably my mid tier of the week. Also, really like Harris English at 7,300. I feel like he's just a guy. He hits a lot of fairways. He has no problem humbling himself and taking iron off the tee. He does that stuff all the way, all around, and I feel like he can hit some greens and whatever. My high tier, I mean, it's got to be JT. I'm Fontaine. We're riding JT this week. JT's the guy. I know he said it. So hey, let's go JT, baby.
Right.
I know I said a DJ earlier on, where that's going to be my guy I'm looking for this week. If I'm going to be a betting man, let's not be stupid. Brooks is my top guy. It's
have
inevitable.
exposure.
You got to have him. That's my top.
I just
guy.
did a team. I just did a team with him and JT on it. I mean, you just gotta, You can. It's so easy. I have Brooks, JT, and Fleetwood and Fitzpatrick all on the same team. Yeah. All on the same team with Berger and Burns. Like, what's wrong with that? Nothing. I mean, win me 10,000, please. Come on, enough already.
Who's the bottom barrel? Where are we going?
Let me go to the medium because I get the bottom barrel next. Jason Day is my middle of the road guy.
Love him.
I don't.
You really do love
him. Before he worked out the Travelers, played well again, decently enough to make the cut.
If only this was Connecticut, but
here's why though. For your listeners out there, if you are gonna pick guys this week, look at how they do in the wind. He's one of the top since 2014. And strokes games approach into the wind or playing with the wind. So that's why I like him at 77. And then my low guy, Prev, I'm sorry I have to one-up you, but at 6,800, it's inevitable. If you do not have him in your lineup, you probably are not going to win. Lucas Herbert, he finished T4 last tournament. First. What's his name?
I was looking at him.
Yeah,
my guy, Johannes Veerman.
Yeah. But
no, I was looking at Herbert, but yes, you're right.
T4 and then first in the Scott and the Irish for the Scotch. Flip him around.
He's kind of going off.
Still, yeah, he's going off. And what is he moving 25 miles southeast? So sign me up for him.
All right, I'll make a team with him.
You really want to get going here? Look at Jack Senior. Another guy who you may not know, he's from England. I love the hometown stories or the close stories. He finished T10th at the Scottish, T61 at the Irish. Just a guy that might do well. He's from the land, so.
Yeah, I feel like kind of targeting some guys. I feel like it really doesn't hurt at all to target, and there's a lot of these players in the field. To target guys who played back-to-back Euro events. So to target the Irish Open and Scottish Open players. I really don't think that's a bad play. No. Warmed up. Ness, I don't know. I know I missed it. I apologize for missing the weather episode. I was too busy making triple bogeys. But if you are kind of warmed up on that, sense of that same kind of style of play, I feel like that could play into it. I feel like a guy we haven't mentioned is Colin Morikawa, right? Who hits a lot of fairways and, obviously hits a lot of greens, but is he going to be ready for this environment?
No.
I do. I have one team with him out of 8. I'm making 8 lineups this week. I have one team out of 8, just because he's a stud. TJ, he's a stud.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'm fading him so bad. He hasn't played in the Open. He shot abysmal last week.
Didn't he not playing? Like he didn't play in the last major that he won or some shit, right? And it doesn't seem to matter with him though.
He can't putt.
But it's more his matter. Play. His short game's ass, and you need it around here. It's more that the experience, because no matter where you are in the world, a 3-yard cut is going to work. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So his ball striking so elite that's not going to be the issue. I just don't know if his short game creativity and ability to make 4-footers and shit like that, that's his biggest weakness, and I think he just gets exposed this week with that. On top of, it's not that he can't do it, but he's going to be a little uncomfortable. It's new, right? So it's just not saying he'll never win an Open, because he's just too good to ever say that. If he figures out the putting at all, he'll probably win. I mean, he's got the game to win multiple, because he's the best long iron player in the game right now. So I think it's just this week, it's his first one. He's working so hard to try and understand it, and his there's so much effort going into the preparation that I feel like come Thursday he's going to be exhausted, or come Friday afternoon, whatever it may be, he's going to be
right regardless,
a little burnt out. And I think he's going to have to work so hard around those greens and really put a lot of pressure on himself with 4-footers and weird like chip shots, pitch shots, and all that kind of different.
I think experience in this tournament, honestly, you make a good point. I think experience in this tournament is fucking crucial. And like, because especially for a lot of these guys like Morikawa, like, let's look at this. This is, you don't even have to look any further, right? Regardless, he is not used to that time change, jet lag and all that stuff. I know they're going to be out there for a week and whatever, preparing. I get all that. But the guys who have not done that, who aren't used to that, it's still going to be a major bodily change. Right. I mean, I know they're pro athletes. I get that whole bit. I understand the advantages that they have and whatever, but they can't do anything to these guys' minds. And I think that is a good point, right? That's why I only have one team with Morikawa, because we've seen it before when he drives a green and makes an eagle and does disgusting things. But,
he could very easily still make the cut here and, get a.
Because he hits it straight. I mean, I like him because he hits it straight.
Straighter than anybody. He's got the type of ball flight that's not going to get beat up by the wind. I know it's a fade, but it's like a piercing fade. It's not the slappy one. Like, I don't think he's going to have a horrendous week, but I'm certainly not picking him to win or anything like that just yet. But we'll see.
There's one other guy too, Fonda. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's one other guy that we haven't mentioned, and he's a staple. Okay, and look at him. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I mean, come on. I mean, he talk about experience. This guy has seen every tournament there ever was on the PGA Tour. I feel like he was one of the founding fathers of the PGA Tour. This guy, dude, exposure, and he's having a great year. He's having a great year, right?
I mean,
hits the ball straight, good short game. What else do you need? I mean, I don't know. I think a JT. I'm going to try to do a JT Louis Jordan Spieth pairing right here on my last lineup I'm going to make, and put TJ's donkey Herbert in the lineup as well. So yeah, we will see. But yeah, and you guys got anybody else?
I got nobody else, but I did want to make one point on Louis. I saw a stat today. He is 12 strokes away from winning 7 major championships. He's 6 strokes away from having like 4.
God.
No,
he has 1, but he's had so many close calls and others that like a combined 12 shots away from winning 7 majors. Like,
I gotta go back.
I
gotta go back to a comment TJ made. I know he's not here; he's having some technical difficulties. But with Jason Day, did he say he was strokes gained, one of the best players in the win?
Jason Day hits the ball higher than anybody on the planet. That just doesn't make sense.
Well, that's fine, but I wonder what that stat is after like 2017, because I think in 2015 and 16 he won like 8 times and was the best player in the world and had like one of the greatest stretches in golf ever.
And he had his Space Jam situation. Like,
so like,
talent.
Can we rule out those 2 years and get that stat like how he's currently playing when he actually came back to Earth?
Yeah, TJ's Jason Day. He
is. He definitely has an infatuation with him for sure.
He has the complete opposite game for what you want in the wind. He hits it to the moon. He hits it so high in the air. He has no control over the ball for the long. Like he's the opposite of what you want out of a wind player. Like a guy like Leishman hits the ball low as shit. Like that's a wind player. Like I don't know. I wanted to challenge him on it, but he kept going and like changed topics, so I didn't want to go back to it. But I'm glad you brought it up.
He'll play him in our bogey-proof league, and he'll come in last, and that'll be all right. It's usual stuff.
But I think just sitting around here, I made I thought was going to be a diabolical lineup, just absolute chaos. Actually, as time goes on, I keep looking at the names. I'm slowly liking it more and more, especially now.
I'd love to hear every name.
Brings up one of the guys. So I started. Sometimes what I do is I just start way down at the bottom and pick 2 of the like cheapest guys I can get.
Okay.
Work up. So that's where I found the Sam Burns.
Right. Okay.
So got him there. And then I got up to Kisner. There's a lot of people that I slotted in there. That I also went Dan Berger. And now I haven't even taken up about a third.
Yeah, now what do you got? Like 10K left for each right?
So then I went.
This is how it's done though. This is how you make $1 million.
Then I went Patty Reed.
Okay.
He was actually the last one I picked. I backtracked down to get to Patty Reed.
Hit 8,800 left.
And then I put in Louis. I was like, I have so much left. So I got Rombo, and then I backtracked down to get Reed.
Wow.
I love it. I mean, think about it.
That the other guy that I don't know, we haven't really talked about him a lot. I'm gonna have Jordan this week. We talked about his creativity with the short game. I'm gonna have him. He's kind of cooled off a little the last couple months, but Torrey is no place for him to win a golf tournament. So I
No.
didn't expect much out of him there.
He'll never win there, ever.
And this is back. I feel like it's quirky. He's quirky. I feel like he'll be able to, squeeze a weird cut out there all week if that's what he wants to do. And I just think the short game, I mean, he very well should have won the Masters this year. He had the worst putting performance of his life and finished in third. So I'm still hanging on to that a little bit, but I just think I think he's got a little bit more left in him this year where he's going to have more than just that win at the Valero or whatever it was. He had too good of a year for that to be his only win. I think there's something else in there, whether it's this or maybe he wins a playoff event or something like that. I just think that I'm hanging on for Jordan Spieth. I want to see another major, just at least get him back in the mix on a Sunday in a major. I know he had a good finish at the Masters, but he was kind of chasing. It wasn't all that close. I just think that the weirder it gets, the more it plays into his hands. I think he's totally fine with getting quirky out there. And that's, other than him, I didn't have too much else to talk about.
I have one more guy and then I'm done. I have one more guy. Last guy. Paul, what about Victor? What are we doing about him?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man.
He can't chip. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's also he
Not yet.
strikes the shit out of the ball. Put it this way, if he finds a way to miss in the right spots the first few days, at least the first 2 days, and kind of keep it stress-free and just kind of get false sense of confidence almost out there, and he's in the mix come Saturday, love him because he'll out-ball strike he has a chance to out-ball strike anybody he's kind of matched up against and not have to chip and do all that weird shit around the greens. And he's a Euro guy. He won on the European Tour, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. Not the Irish Open or anything like that, but he won something else. It's just going to be a matter of if he can keep it stress-free long enough to the point where when he gets in the weird spot, he's in contention enough where he doesn't even think about it. He just does the damage control option and it does it that way. Because I think if he gets in a weird spot early on Thursday or Friday and tries to hit a shot he's not comfortable with because it's the shot that's asked for, boom, there's a double. His short game mentally shot the next 2 days, and we got some issues, But if he kind of misses in the right spots and just strikes it super solid the first 2 days, now all of a sudden he's in the final 2 groups Saturday or Sunday, gets in a weird spot, he's just going to do what he's comfortable with and limit the damage to no worse than a bogey, and that's fine. If he gets to that point, I love him, but I think he's got to play so good the first 2 days to not,
Yeah, it'll be tough on him. It's going to be tough on all these guys, though.
His strokes gained around the green has definitely gotten better.
Yeah,
this year compared to the last 2 years, right? He's been on tour for 2 years.
Better, but I don't know how. I think on the PGA Tour he can nail down one shot.
Then you also have the effect of he's been on tour for now 2 years and he's played all the courses, seen everybody. He's got his routine down. He's got the whole 2 years experience going. But I know he's gotten better at putting this year. I think all around his game has gotten better, and especially what sticks out, I think his short game has gotten better, but he still struggles with it.
Yeah, I think it's just if you get him in one of those bowls and he's on the back of it on a downslope and he's got to put it down and then back up or something like that, or he tries to take a wedge out on something like that, I don't think he's comfortable with that, and you're gonna have shit like that at a Open Championship. And like I said, if it's Thursday, Friday, he might try to do something that he doesn't need to yet, and all of a sudden puke on himself. Where if he does it on Saturday or Sunday, he just takes the putter out and blasts it up on the green to 15 feet, and he's making no worse than a bogey, which is fine. I just think if he has a couple of those on Thursday and Friday, we got issues. I just don't think he's, like you said, he's gotten better at it, but you don't hit those shots in the States. You just don't. So he hasn't had to test it in weird spots. He probably just takes his 60 and sleeps with it, and he's gone good with his 60. But you got to have the other shit for an Open Championship where I don't know. I'm not sold on him, but he strikes it just about as good as anybody. So he could very well just kind of out ball strike everyone and just damage control himself around the greens, and that could work if it gets.
What contests are we doing, gents? As we look, because that's another thing I feel like we should touch on, and we don't touch on it enough. I think a good way to look is kind of the approach here. I mean, I'm looking at these contests, and I think and this is generally what I've been doing because I feel like I get bored with doing cash, so. I'm doing I'll see you guys in the 2.5 million, the $10. I am in that. So, if you guys want to join in.
Yep.
And I think too that Fontaine, we should touch on, we do run a contest every week. We run a $20 20 person league. So, I mean, if there's anyone out there listening, whatever, and you guys want in, just DM bogey proof and whatever, and we'll shoot you the contest link for sure. We want to fill that up. And I think we have 7 out of 20 so far already. And I will, get my marketing on tomorrow, and we will fill it up. So
it'll be.
I'm excited for that nice little prize pool on that bad boy. A $400 prize pool, which is always fun. We do top 3 win, so that'll be a good time. But yeah, if any of you guys are interested in it, shoot us a message and we'll get you the link. And welcome to it, man. We have fun coming in last, but please come.
All right, let's wrap this up with something different we're going to do for this Open Championship here, something new, probably incorporate it going forward in the majors and, any other kind of big events, but especially the Open Championship, I think it makes sense. We're going to go €1, 1 American, round robin here, and we'll see who combined earnings this week, dollar signs, not just like combined under par, but combined earnings with the dollar signs. We'll see who kind of comes out on top between the 4 of us with our 2 players combined.
Are we wagering?
Yeah, what do we want to do?
What do you want? Bank accounts?
Just $10.
Debit cards for a night?
All right, we'll do $10.
Dylan's debit card. Let's do it. Yeah, let's just do a $10 winner take all and have some fun with it.
We do a little snake draft. Do we have an order?
Snake draft. You go first, Paul, because it was your idea.
Okay.
Yep.
So you definitely get to go first. And then
there's no requirements. It's just American and European, and that's it. Or
yeah,
American
anybody
and
in the field's open.
Yep. No, got to be Euro. Got to be Euro.
Yeah, European. Yeah.
Oh, what if okay. I've got to test my geography.
Yeah. Go DK, click on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Bro, just pick somebody in Ireland or England. Don't even try any of the other ones.
Well, I guess that my first pick, I'll go with a guy I've been talking about quite a bit already tonight. I'm going with Xander.
All right, American off the board. We'll go with TJ. You look like you're ready. You go next. Brooksy. Prev, you ready? Or you want me to go?
I mean, we're gonna pick the same guy, so you want me to go first, or you want you to go first?
Go ahead, I'll take mine back.
All right, good, Justin.
All right, so we're all going American first. I'll keep that going. Let me just do a quick spot check here, make sure I'm not missing anybody before I pick them. I'm gonna ride with Jordan. I talked him up a little bit, so I'll ride with Jordan, and then my Euro. Oh man.
This is where it gets interesting.
Oh yeah.
I'm going. I'm picking with my heart, not my brain. I'm going with Rory. I'm going Rory and Jordan. I'll fucking take that all day.
Oh, true. I didn't even think you could pick like 2 nasty guys in this.
1-1, right?
Yeah.
American.
It's true. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna take the Fleet God, baby. I'm gonna take the Fleet God.
His presser got me fired up today. I think.
Yeah, I'm hyped to watch him play. I think he's back as fuck. So let's get it.
And I am taking Ian Poulter.
Fuck. You're just going villains, huh? Brooks and Ian Poulter.
It's a mindset week. The win, the course. Like, I want guys that have grit, and this is what it is.
I sneaky love your team. That's annoying.
Yeah, I love it too.
I love it too.
Are we?
Paul.
Are we just disregarding John Rahm this week?
You can have him. No, take him. I want Ian.
Why am I picking the scrub Fleetwood?
God, I'm kind of like, what's going on?
We got first pick, and we let Rahm get all the way down to 8 on him.
That's what
I got drunk.
This is what happens when you do a rough draft of this.
I got drunk.
First installment.
Yeah, I mean, I out of all due respect, I'm obligated to take Rahm. I can't not
No, you
have
are.
Rom in
You are.
this.
You absolutely
No,
are.
pick him. I want Ian. Ian's gonna finish better.
Honestly, if
He's gonna finish.
TJ, side bet on that?
It's serious. There's no
if
line
Rob
to that.
Is that a matchup right now?
I will happily pay the $10 just
Yeah,
to have
is that a matchup? Literally, we should combine money.
I would love to see John Rahm this week just for the storyline of being like having another guy, like having another guy just start dominating. I'm all
Well, let's combine everything against
as,
Rom
like-
against Poulter or whatever.
I figure he's gonna finish in the top 10 and cash like a decent sized check. Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
That's why I went with Rory. I got big vibes of a backdoor top 10 for Rory.
True,
this
he
week.
does do that. JT can
That's
do
why
the
He
I
same
always
thing.
does that. He does.
Those two are just money boys. They sneaky know how to get the bag on Sunday even when they're not in it. So
Oh, they get that part. Yeah.
You get the bag and flip it and fumble it.
all right, on that note, boys, I think we had a good episode here. Excited for the Open Championship.
So
Lots
hyped,
of
dude.
lots of plays this week. If you got anything else, let me know. But I think we're good to wrap here and start watching some golf.
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
Cheers.
Enjoy Thursday morning.
Cheers.